What's up, guys? My name is Devin Reed. I am a photographer, graphic designer, artist, dabbling in video now, trying to get that groundwork in. Honestly, dabble in a little bit of everything creative. So that's kind of what brings me here today. As you saw in that intro, it's taken me, now I'm not 35, but it has taken me quite a few years to build up this courage to be able to start this channel. But today is the day. I am starting it. I am dropping every bit of knowledge that I know, and I don't want this to come off wrong, but not for an audience, but specifically for myself. I have been doing this for 6 years now, been slowly growing, learning photography, which has then led into graphic design, shooting events, a little bit of artwork, just kind of a little bit of a bunch of different directions I never saw my life going in. Stopped drinking, and that kind of shifted everything for me, and I'll go into that later on in some other videos of what fully brought me into photography. But for right now, this first one I figured I would just take you guys straight into one of my normal edits. I've got this really nice photo of this R8 I got in St. Louis. Contacted the owner. He was super nice to link up with me and even show me one of his secret spots. I'm originally from St. Louis, and I never knew this was here, and trust me, it made me feel like I was not in anything that would be in St. Louis. Let's jump into it. First, I always go down and click these two little guys. What that does is it kind of fixes the vignette that comes from your camera lens and kind of the warp it gives, so that will flatten back out your image. Then Lightroom has been very nice and kind to add this nice little AI denoise button. Now, whether or not it needs it, I still always do it, because what it does is it kind of builds like a stack of your photo and makes it a higher quality and a little bit sharper no matter what. And with how the AI is, it's insane how much it can save you if you shoot at night or in low light. Let it do its thing. Okay, now it's done, a lot more crispier. Now, then we'll go up to the S-curve. I don't know necessarily, sometimes I do a lift, sometimes we'll bring in more contrast. I'm feeling more moody in contrast. Bring that down, and then up here we're going to bring that up and slide that one over. Okay. Next, what we'll do is select the subject. Boom, nice, quick, and easy. Back when I started, that wasn't a thing, so you guys are lucky. We're going to bring all those shadows up, bring in the contrast a little bit, bring down the blacks to fill up for the shadows. There we go, we can see that rim and the caliber a little bit more of the front. And we're also going to lift the exposure on it, decreasing some of those highlights. Boom, that pops out way better. Next, especially on cars, this is very important. I always go up and I increase the clarity quite a bit. Now, I don't want it to look too much, so I won't push it all the time. It kind of depends on the photo, which I'm noticing right here it wasn't taken very well. So make sure you don't do that. We're going to go to sharpness, push that up a little bit. Defringe kind of helps with that clarity. I'm having trouble thinking of my words today. Okay, that should be good for the subject. Next, I always add a linear gradient right here, kind of bringing in more darkness to lead the eye to the subject. Ooh, that is looking good. Then we'll go up here, we'll do a radial gradient. Boom. Lift that exposure up, make it look like the lights are coming through those windows a bit. Bring down the highlights so it takes away any light. I'm going to up the clarity and dehaze so you can see out of that a little bit more. Nice. We're going to make it cool. Yeah. Make it cool vibes. It's winter time. Fits. We'll go with that. Next, we're going to select the background. Background. Go back. Just double click that. Goes away. Scroll up. Make sure you are on your layer. Clarity. We're going to dehaze that a bit. Give more of that texture back. Boom, boom. KK. And then we're going to decrease. I want it a little bit darker. Next. So I do a lot of masks in Lightroom generally, is how I start my foundation for photos, and then we bring it over to good old Photoshop. But since Lightroom added all these nifty new features, it really, really helps. Okay, that should be good. And we'll go up here to this little minus guy. We'll select the subject so that you're not raising too much on the car that you've already raised, and then just increase that exposure a little bit. Boom, bring more of the brightness around the subject so it doesn't look like the subject is just super. And I totally just kicked the camera, so I'm sorry for that little shaky stuff. Next, honestly, I really like this color grade, so I don't know if I'm going to mess with it too much. Actually, on the background, I'm going to desaturate it a little bit. Okay. Let's just see. So this is what I'm talking about, is sometimes I really don't know until I mess with it of what I want to do. I really like that yellow look. Like a lot. Then add in some of a little bit of purple in the shadows. Ooh, that's hard, because the red gives it that little mood. That's more cinematic-y. Actually, I kind of like the teal. Alright, just like that, we are in Photoshop. Now, of course, this is my first video, and so of course with that comes mistakes. And as I was filming this and doing this entire edit, for some reason the screen record did not capture me switching over to Photoshop and actually doing the full edit process. So with that being said, this is a little bit of me just going over what I did do. So what I plan on doing is basically going back through, and I will be creating videos for each individual topic that I do on a photo and doing a little bit more in-depth video on each process. So I'm sorry you didn't get to see some of it in this video, but make sure to hit that follow button, comment below what you want to see first, and I will get on that right away, and we'll start uploading more content to get you guys that more in-depth tutorial on how I do these things. But for now, bringing it over to Photoshop. This is what I did for this one in Photoshop. So basically, I first clicked Control J and duplicated my layer. After I duplicated my layer, I did all of my retouching, cleaned everything up. So as you can see, before, after, before, after. I cleaned up a little bit there, cleaned up the floor over here, cleaned up that, took away the sign, took away the car. There was a reflection right there that I took out. After that, I duplicated it again, and basically I did a dodge and burn. So with the dodge, I went through, brought more of the grille back, the headlights back, brought in some more of that rim and the caliber right there, brought in more light right here that was coming in through the skylight, brought up some of the brightness over here, and then even on some of these edges brought up some of the brightness. Next, I went through and duplicated it again, and I added a Gaussian blur. So I wanted to bring more focus to the subject. With that, turned out really well. After that, I selected the subject of the car. I duplicated the layer by Control J, which then gave me an individual just picture of the car itself so that I could do things behind it without messing up the car. After I did that, I duplicated the full layer again, and I wanted to add a Gaussian blur to kind of bring more of the attention to the subject itself. So when you click that and add that back on, now you can see the foreground is a little bit more blurred, the background is a little bit more blurred, and your eye is more drawn to the subject itself. After that, I then went through and I wanted the background a little bit darker, so I added a layer mask for brightness and contrast, darkened that whole background, so now the entire car pops a little bit more, and then I brought back some of the light right here to kind of give it that brightness feeling. I was clicking the wrong one. I didn't want it to just be the car bright, so that's why you kind of go in with a black paintbrush around your mask and shade out and bring back some of the brightness in certain areas. Next is when I went through and did all of my fun work by adding lights coming through the skyscraper. A little bit of fog is what I felt for it, added headlights, and then even some tail light red reflections. And after doing all that, this is what I came up with. And boom, now you have it. Now the full vision is done. I'm sorry that wasn't a full little retouch video as I planned, but we improvised. I got to show you a little bit of Lightroom and what I do in there to start off with. For future videos, please comment below what you want to learn next, more in depth, whether it's more dodging and burning, how I kind of visualize adding those special effects, color grading, curves, whatever it is, let me know and I will help you guys in the best way that I can. If I don't know it, I will teach myself it and then try to teach you guys in a better, easier form. For that, that's all we got today, and that will be my first ever YouTube video. I hope to see you guys around, and I hope to see more and more of you joining on to the D Reed Photo channel. Until next time.